I could just feel this transition as we went from Leo into Virgo, even in the past week. I could really feel the sense of wanting to settle in, work on getting more organized in my own home, work on getting all my calendars updated. Hi, I'm Ashleigh, and welcome to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. This is a place for the crystal curious, arcane-minded, and everything in the in-between. In this podcast, we will jump down the rabbit hole into the metaphysical, esoteric, occult, and spiritual realms. Nothing is off limits. I'm a mom, wife, an orthopedic physician assistant by day, and a seeker of all things spooky and kooky by night. I've spent my entire career in the medical field, but have always felt like there is more out there, and this is where we will explore together. We will have conversations with crystal healers, rock hounds, artists, musicians, spiritual coaches, magic makers, and anything woo-woo that strikes our fancy. Let's take our spiritual journey to the next level. So grab a crystal, pour a cup of tea. It's time to feel the big crystal energy. Welcome back to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. I'm Ashleigh. I'm your kooky spooky host, and today we're stepping into Virgo season, one of the most grounded, detail-oriented, and quietly magical times of the year. So, Virgo season runs from August 23rd to September 22nd and ushers us from the fiery creativity of Leo into the earthy refinement of Virgo. This is a season about order, devotion, and sacred details. It's not flashy, it's practical magic. Virgo reminds us that our rituals don't have to be elaborate to be powerful. Sometimes the small, intentional actions we repeat every day are the most transformative. Yes. And on that note, I just want to say I am so thankful to be going into this season. Leo season was so intense. I'm coming out of this conference that I was at where the energy was like Leo energy for sure. Powerful women going after their dreams at this powerhouse women's conference that I went to. It was amazing, but it was also just a lot of energy. And so I'm taking a moment to just think about the things that I learned during that trip and take in those messages and use those messages to move forward. I'm also going on a trip coming up in about, I think, 9 days. I'm going to a retreat in Salem, which I just cannot wait for. But that is going to be a trip that's just for me, for grounding, for just reclaiming my power of who I am as a person, and to just be away from everything. And I cannot be more excited. I have been waiting 1.5 years for this retreat. I signed up for it a very long time ago, so it feels surreal to say that it's happening within the next 2 weeks. The countdown is on. So let's get into the history and lore of Virgo season. In ancient astrology, Virgo was associated with the harvest and the goddess of wheat and agriculture, often connected with Demeter and Persephone. In Greek mythology, Virgo season is the time when the fields were tended, organized, and prepared for harvest. The symbol of Virgo, the virgin or maiden, is not about purity in the modern sense. It's about wholeness within oneself, sovereignty, and devotion to one's craft. Virgo energy has long been linked to healing, service, and herbal magic. Historically, this was the gathering of herbs, preserving food, and preparing for the darker months ahead. And I know that my friends that live in the Midwest or in colder climates are feeling that change already. Shout out to my podcast bestie, Stephanie, who you guys have been recently hearing a couple episodes with her. She lives in Iowa, and she was telling me just yesterday that it's cold when she goes out in the morning and the evening. It's already getting cold and the season is changing. And, it's only August. So that feels very early. For me here in kind of central to Northern California where I live, it's very much still summer. It's very hot out during the day. I don't feel like fall is in the air yet by any means. It's just still feeling like full summer. So it's interesting how it can change across the country or in different parts of the world, how we experience these different zodiac seasons, essentially. But even though it feels like fall is not upon us, technically it almost is. So let's talk about the magical correspondences for Virgo season. Its element is Earth. Its ruling planet, Mercury. Colors are soft greens, earthy browns, beige, muted yellows. Candles, white for clarity, green for healing, and brown for grounding. Herbs, lavender, rosemary, sage, chamomile, fennel, thyme. Its magical focus is all about organization, healing, service, purification, and devotion. And it's interesting because even though I am not super extensively familiar with all the different zodiac signs, and that's why I've been doing this series this year so that I could more familiarize myself, I could just feel this transition as we went from Leo into Virgo, even in the past week. I could really feel the sense of wanting to settle in, work on getting more organized in my own home, work on getting all my calendars updated. That was just a natural progression for me. I felt like I was in this really high flow state, and now is the time to take that energy and settle down and then put that energy into an action plan. Are you feeling that too? If you were someone that was at that conference last weekend and you're maybe a new listener, you have to be feeling that energy. I know you do. Hello to any of my new listeners that I met while I was at the conference. Thank you so much for joining me on this magical journey. So the crystals for Virgo season, here are my picks. Moss agate. It's very grounding. It has a big connection to nature. It's all about steady growth. And you can just know that because agate is a very earthy stone. Moss is very slow growing. I had a lot of experience with moss this summer while we were in Iceland. They were telling us while we were there that the moss that grows on the lava fields takes about 100 years to grow. So you have to be very, very careful to try to avoid touching it in any way because you could damage it. And then it's going to take 100 years for it to grow back. Amazonite. I just did an episode all about Amazonite that came out on Tuesday of this week. So you could get into that if you'd like to. It's all about, it balances Virgo's critical streak. It brings self-compassion. We also have fluorite, which is great for mental clarity, focus, organization. I just did a flora episode last week. So go back and listen to that if you haven't already. Carnelian is one of my favorite stones. It's great for motivation. It balances Virgo's cool earthiness with more of a fire because carnelian is very energizing and fiery. So it kind of is that yin and yang to the season. And then, of course, clear quartz, which amplifies intention, purifies, and works with Virgo's devotion to clarity. These crystals are perfect for meditation, altar work, or even carrying in your pocket when you're building better habits. Currently, in my own personal life, one of the things that I really want to focus on coming out of this conference that I went to is really getting back into a good fitness and nutrition routine, because I know for myself that when my fitness and nutrition is on point, I feel so much more grounded. I feel so much more energetic. I feel just more full of, just more energized for life. And I was really inspired when I was at the conference because there were so many beautiful, fit women that were there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I used to be in really great shape. And now mom life has been momming, and it's been super hard for me to get back in shape after having my second son. It's just, I think, a lot of things to do with time And I think a lot of it's just getting out of the routine. And then it's sometimes very hard to get back into the routine. So that's just been something that I really want to organize and start focusing on coming up, starting Virgo season. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I have something you need to hear. Have you been feeling a shift, a pull towards something more? Whether you're manifesting new opportunities, confidence, or a major glow up, the universe is listening, and I've got just the thing. In a crystal clarity call, I'll intuitively select 3 crystals to support your manifestations, pull a tarot or oracle card for deeper guidance, and craft custom journal prompts to help you take action. It's more than a reading, it's an energetic roadmap. So if you're ready to align with your highest self, DM me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash for details and pricing. Let's bring your magic to life. Now, as far as a tarot card for the season, Virgo is traditionally associated with the Hermit card, which makes sense because we're going inward. It's a card of solitude, reflection, and inner wisdom. The Hermit reminds us that the answers we seek often come from when we step back, quiet the noise, and listen to ourselves. So, I mean, like I just keep saying over and over again, it's just so perfect, especially for my own personal life, coming out of this really intense summer season with the travels and all of the different things, and now kind of settling into what I can take away from all of that. So I have been reading this book. It's called Talking with the Tarot. Here's a picture of it by Samantha Rose Hicks. I absolutely love the way she approaches the cards. So I'm going to read a segment from her book about the Hermit. Okay. You know you are tapping into the Hermit's energy when you are tapping out of everything else. A personal connection that I will share about the Hermit is when I embarked on a stay-at-home silent retreat for a week. This was a conscious choice to remove myself from all noise for an entire week. No phone, no music, no people, nothing. It was one of the hardest things I have ever done, but also one of the healthiest. It allowed me to reconnect with my own inner guidance system, to look at myself and the life I was living as if looking in a mirror and seeing it clearly for the first time. Were my habits healthy? Was I living a life in alignment with my soul's purpose? Was I even happy? These are the questions that one will find when embodying the Hermit's energy. Think for a moment about a time in your life when you just had to step away. Did you take a break from a personal relationship, or did you stay at a hotel for a couple of nights as a little self-care staycation? When can you recall a time when you just took a break from it all? And if you can't recall one, here is your invitation, my dear, take a break. And I really loved the way that she said that. And I love this book because each card is just so relatable. And I'm going to be getting Samantha Rose Hicks on the podcast here. Probably that episode will not come out until after the first of the year, but I just am obsessed with that book. So I will link it in the show notes because you have to read it if you love tarot as much as I do. I just love how she captures the essence of the Hermit, and it's not just about retreating. It's about making space to hear your inner voice and trusting that inner light to guide you forward. And that ties perfectly with Virgo season. This energy asks us to slow down, create order, and honor the sacredness of our daily rituals. The Hermit teaches us that refinement, reflection, and clarity are just as important as action. And so that description really resonates with me as I've been coming out of this transformative experience, such as the conference. Leo season was about expansion and visibility, stepping onto the stage, literally and energetically. But Virgo season, through the lens of the Hermit, feels like the time to take everything I've learned and integrate it. For me, the Hermit isn't about hiding away. It's about creating space to process, to listen inward, and to carry that light of inspiration back into my daily rituals and routines. After being surrounded by so much energy, community, and empowerment, Virgo season is asking me, how do I ground this? How do I take the magic from that experience and weave it into the everyday? That's the big beauty of Virgo season, Virgo energy. It reminds us that transformation doesn't just happen in the big, bold moments. It happens in the small, consistent, intentional actions repeat over and over again. Journal prompts for Virgo season. If you want to work with Virgo season and the Hermit in your own practice, here are a few journal prompts you can reflect on. Number 1, what wisdom have I recently gained that I need to slow down and integrate? Number 2, where in my daily life could I create more space for clarity, ritual, or reflection? Number 3, what small, consistent actions could I commit to this season that would keep my inner light shining? Take a few moments to write or even just meditate on these questions. Virgo season reminds us that the smallest shifts can create the biggest transformation when they're rooted in devotion and intention. Here's a simple Virgo season ritual. Super easy, no big setup required. So, number 1, clear a space. Take a few minutes to tidy up a small area, your altar, your desk, your kitchen counter, whatever. Virgo energy thrives in clean, intentional spaces. Light a candle. Choose white, green, or brown. As you light it, say, I invite clarity, healing, and devotion into this season. Hold a crystal. Pick one that resonates with you, either one of the ones I listed earlier or whatever you like for this season. Close your eyes and ask, what small daily ritual would support me most right now? Let the answer come naturally. And then journal one intention. Write down one habit, ritual, or practice you want to focus on for Virgo season. Keep it simple, something you can realistically integrate into daily life. That's it. Short, grounded, intentional. The perfect Virgo energy ritual. Before we close, I want to share a listener review from the Amanda11, who wrote, perfect timing. New listener and loving it. So excited to listen to more episodes. I really appreciate the research and detail that goes into the crystal episodes and specific ways to incorporate them into rituals. Thank you so much for your kind words. It means the world to me to know that these episodes resonate and give you something tangible to work with. And if you're listening and enjoying the show, leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever platform that you listen to podcasts on is one of the best ways to support Big Crystal Energy and help more magical people and souls find the podcast. As we move through Virgo season, remember, it's not about being flawless. It's about being devoted. It's about finding the magic in small, consistent actions. Virgo teaches us that the details are divine and the daily rituals are what create transformation. So light your candle, pick up your crystal, and let Virgo guide you into weaving sacredness into your everyday. Until next time, keep your crystals close, your magic strong, and may Virgo season bring you clarity, healing, and grounded devotion. Bye! Thank you so much for jumping down the rabbit hole with me. If you connected with this episode in any way, I would love it if you could share it with a friend. Also, please tag me on social media. I'm at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast, mostly on Instagram. It helps so much getting my episodes out there and finding more magical, kooky, and spooky friends. Sending you all Big Crystal Energy. Cheers!